Um, okay, so can you hear me?
Yes,
So
actually, hold on a second. I was going to do the welcome. So welcome everyone to the Project Jupyter IPython developers call for Tuesday, January 23rd. We're following an agenda on Dropbox paper, which is linked in the chat box. We will go ahead and get started with some updates on Jupyter Lab.
okay, hi. This is Jessica, and one of the things we're working on at Jupyter Lab is finalizing the documentation. We had a big meeting to discuss our naming conventions for the user interface. That's going to be formalized in a PR for the dev documentation, and then that's going to be translated into the user docs. Additionally, Ian has a PR on the some screenshots and videos that will be used to help demonstrate how to use the interface in Jupyter Lab. Is there anything else we have to add on that, Ian, or is anyone else on Jupyter Lab
That seems good.
wants to mention anything?
Okay, great. So we'll
I may have one comment. You still have for the documentation both jupyterlab.wizardoc.io and jupyterlab-tutorial.github.io that both have the same content.
Yes.
I think the earlier you remove one of them, the less duplicated link you will have and the better it will be for users.
Yeah, I think that's probably something we have to figure out before we formally announce the beta release.
Because I believe even the main jupyter.org websites, we have a documentation page that points to the correct documentation for project. It's still pointing to Jupyter Lab-tutorial. So yeah, make sure all the links are the correct one to not spread things.
One other note related, is this general Jupyter Lab area or is this only the docs?
No, it's general.
General Jupyter Lab. Yeah, go ahead.
So about a week and a half ago, Ian and I released Jupyter Lab LaTeX, which is a live LaTeX renderer in the vein of like a local share LaTeX sort of thing, except not shared or collaborative today. So just wanted to give people an idea about that. We're running into some issues with Windows support right now. So people with expertise around that, particularly dealing with async stuff in Windows and Tornado, we'd love input and feedback. But yeah, check it out. Give it a test run. It works. And it uses a new configuration setup for default server extension enabling. So you should be able to just pip install Jupyter Lab LaTeX and it should work. Is that right, more or less, Ian?
There's also a lab extension.
Oh, yes. Also, you need to install the lab extension. Fair enough. You should check out the link, and I will put that in the notes.
Okay, thanks. Anything else on Jupyter Lab before we move on? Okay, I see Grant joined the call. Grant, do you have anything to share on Notebook or should we move on?
Nothing to report on Notebook.
Okay. All right, so we will move on to, actually, you're next on, do you want to talk about MB-Convert?
Oh, sure. One of the big things that we've been working through on MB-Convert right now is some changes to the way that the slides exporter works. Lots of people have had problems with it for like a long time because we were by default enabling it so that you needed a local copy of Reveal. We're planning on switching that so that the reason you needed to do that was for talk. If you wanted to have notes, speaker notes for your talk, you would need to have that local copy. So anyway, Thomas, Damian, and Kyle, and I, to a lesser extent, hashed out a bunch of those details. And now there will be, and thanks to Fernando for initially raising the issue. But yeah, soon there will be nicer slides that can stand alone and be like included on a GitHub Pages thing, and they'll still work as slides. And so once that's done, I'm pretty sure we're going to be set for a release pretty soon. And that's about it.
Okay, great. So next on the list, Min, or who added those notes for services?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mainly since we want to shut down the temp-nb server, we need to stand something up in their place. And currently, I think I imagine people would probably like nice introductory demo things. But I think probably to get this done, I'll probably just point it at the IPython in depth repo on Binder, which might motivate us to get IPython in depth more up to date than it is. But what we had on Try Jupyter was also wildly out of date already. So yeah, I think I'll be working a bit on that this week, among many other things.
Okay, and looks like Matthias is adding some notes. Matthias, anything you want to talk about, or is the update?
I'll talk about that later, but basically I'm working on something on the main Jupyter website, and we can add binder links there. That would be a nice thing, but we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, if we want to just redirect the domain's going to be there. So if you want to redirect try.jupyter to just a page in the main website, that's fine too.
And looks like, Jessica, do you have some notes you want to share about Jupyter Hub? Or Min, do you have anything on Jupyter Hub?
Yeah, I think we'll probably be another release of the Helm chart of Jupyter Hub, maybe this week or next. But lots of little things going on all over Binder and Jupyter Hub, but
okay,
not too much to talk about.
Okay.
And also there's a conference on fairness, accountability, and transparency in machine learning. We submitted a tutorial for Binder, and they, the bad news was they didn't accept it, but the good news was that they wanted us to submit a write-up version of things that we would have been talking about in this tutorial, and that's due in about a week. I'm going to start, I'm going to migrate over the tutorial proposal to Dropbox paper, and would appreciate anyone's thoughts or feedback before we finalize the write-up.
Okay, great. We'll move on to, Matthias, do you want to talk about the notes you have in the miscellaneous category?
Sure. So I've been working on the main Jupyter website for an ecosystem page that lists and allow you to search and filter for any Jupyter-related project. Not only our project, but also community projects, which means all the kernels, all the front ends. Of course, writing the list is quite long, so if you want to add your project there, you're welcome to come and add it and get feedback. One of the ideas is that, for example, Min said that we want to remove temp-nb. One thing we could do is on each kernel has the ability to get a binder link. So that basically when you list the kernel, you say, hey, try and binder just here. That would be a nice place to do that. As a reminder, the Jupyter is now trademarked officially. So now we should likely start to add TM on logos and in the specific location. So yeah, just while we are here, remember to do that.
are those things in a PR? Where are you doing it on the Jupyter.github.io?
The PR is in the Dropbox document. It's PR 246 on Jupyter.github.io. And it's pretty easy to edit. I mean, you can just look at the screenshot and give your feedback. And adding project is basically just adding 4 lines in a file. You have the name of the project, the URL of the project, a path to a logo, and I don't remember what, which is optional. It's well documented. And I will work on the design with in the next couple of days and weeks. There are also some legal concerns. You can read the PR about exactly what we can do. And in less than a month is the deadline for the SciPy tutorial submission, and we got a request to have a Jupyter one because the widget was one of the best received tutorial of last year. And so is someone planning to submit a tutorial, or should I try to take the lead on that and push people to do it? Was one of my questions. I'm guessing for widgets, we should ask Sylvain and Jason, who are currently in the widgets meeting in Paris. So well, I can try to send a reminder email and loop in some people. Probably redo an IPython in-depth tutorial that is edited for Jupyter Lab. So that sounds great to people.
When was the last time that SciPy had a tutorial like last year's PyCon Jupyter Hub tutorial?
I don't know.
Because I feel like that would be appreciated by that audience as well.
Maybe we
That
just
in combination with Binder or something.
Yeah, we just can't do all the tutorial at SciPy or Jupyter tutorial.
Yeah, we've started talking about what we should do with what we should propose with Binder, and we can propose everything and let the organizers decide.
Yeah, I mean, I think otherwise it's called JupyterCon, but
yeah, we will have our own conference later. So, but yeah,
it's true. It's a different
we're,
group.
we're talking about what Binder related stuff we should bring. So I'm not quite sure what the right mix of talks and tutorials and stuff is. But we're thinking about it. If anybody has strong opinions or good ideas, definitely bring them up.
And when should they bring that up, Min, if they were to want to join the meeting?
Now, I think they, I don't even remember where this is happening.
I was trying to set you up.
It's either on GitHub or on the mailing list. It's happening somewhere. I'll try to find it and put a link if I can figure out where it's going on.
Sounds good.
Great. Still me, but not section, which is JupyterCon, because we're speaking out of conferences. The CFP is now open. So there's been an announcement from O'Reilly, and we have a blog announce that say that please submit things to JupyterCon with some improvement from last year. We're still refining that, and we will be looking for people to review. We will be looking at the current proposal. We will have posters, of course, and lots of things. And we will start to tweet and retweet and re-say the same thing again and again, so don't be annoyed. And please help us to reach as many people as possible. Remind people that we have diversity plans, so we can sponsor people to come. And all these informations are in the blog post. There is also the conference dates on the O'Reilly website are 21 to 24th. But that's just the main conference. On the 25th, there is a most likely free event. We haven't decided the exact name, which will be referred to as Sprint or Community Day, because we don't want people to think that the only thing they should do is sit and code and that they are already experts. Same, it's on the blog post. So if you take your plane ticket for JupyterCon now, please think about staying on the 25th. And that's about it. Just promo, and we're also looking for sponsors, of course. If you want to sponsor JupyterCon, and it will be happy getting in contact with us. And that's it for me. I think we have new people on the call today. I don't know if they want to say hi.
I don't know, new people on the call, do you want to say hi?
I might. So I'm Tim, and I'm Ryan's new pet designer, I think would be the best way to describe it. No, just kidding. So I'm full-time here. I'm actually going to be working remotely for a little bit until I can get my family moved up here and get a house and all that stuff. But I've been working with Brian to get to know the project a bit, and I'm super excited and expect to hear more from me going forward.
So welcome, Tim.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome, a nice t-shirt.
Thanks.
Matthias, also sounds like you're planning or will be speaking on a Jupyter webinar at NERSC. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, I've been invited to give 2 webinars. I have to meet with the people to discuss exactly what I will be talking about and have more information. I will have more information later, and when I have more information, I will share it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it will be open or if it will be private, but there will be something next month.
Okay, well, if it's open, remember to share the link and invite everyone, of course. So this last section of the agenda is a recap of any action items or requests that you may have of other people on the call or of the community. So if you have something that you want people to review or help you with, make sure to add that to the action items list. And if you have any releases that you plan for, or that you did last week, or you plan for this week, or will be coming up in the next week or two, please repeat that in this section so that we can keep an archive of all of the releases. And before we close out, I just want to give a chance for anyone to share anything that they want to chat about before we close out. Anything that wasn't on the agenda, feel free to go ahead and jump in. Crickets. Okay, I feel like that was enough time for people to unmute themselves and get on that bandwagon. So thank you, everyone. We'll go ahead and end the recording now. Have a great week.